Xavier Worthy coming back from the hamstring injury. JD, he's already got his fingers taped up. He jammed his finger during practice today. It happens, but when I saw him when he was talking, I saw like the two fingers were taped up, his gloves are taped up like this. I'm like, no, come on. Got to play right through that, man. You got to play through the jam finger. You can't be taping that up.
Yeah, he'll be all right, man. Can't win for losing. But I tell you what, it was just good to have him out there. And so I know that little jam finger wasn't going to stop him from being out there on the practice field. And so it was good. And that's the meaning of camp. Camp is coming in, you're getting jam fingers. You're going to have some busted up ribs and maybe wrists, all those different things will be coming out, man. Just the bumps and the bruises. That's just part of what camp is. So, but it's good.
Worthy's
tell
played
him
with
to rub some. No, go ahead.
No, say Worthy's played with a broken hand before during his college days. So I mean, but jam finger's nothing to him. So,
hey man, rub some dirt on it. He'll be all right. He'll be good.
There you go. Yeah. Was that from Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on it. Pain don't hurt.
Dirt on it. Yeah.
All right, so tonight we're gonna get going with Xavier Worthy. We talked about him right here. We're gonna begin. So training camp is here for our rookies and some of our vets. Leo Chanel and Nazi Johnson were there today, along with our quarterbacks. But today also marks the 50-day spot until the week 1 kickoff of the season. But the biggest news was Xavier Worthy is back in action for the first time since rookie minicamp. He's back on the field wearing the helmet, doing all things our wide receivers and return men do. He was out there today. And yesterday, when Mahomes first arrived, he actually had some comments to say about Xavier Worthy being back on the field, as well as Xavier Worthy responding to what Mahomes had to say in his press conference today. So we'll roll the tape right here.
I mean, there's no easing. Like, he's going to have to get out and be ready to go. We got a lot of competition on this offense. Brett Veach and Coach Reed did a great job bringing a lot of competition in. And Xavier, I mean, he got a lot of mental work in these last few weeks that he had during OTAs and minicamp, but it's time to go now. And, I mean, y'all saw it with Rashee last year and some of the throwing up days he had. I mean, we're gonna push you to the limit and prepare yourself to be ready to go for the season. And that's not just him, that's everybody, and everybody has to have that mentality when they come into camp.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's no time to ease in. I mean, it's all go. I mean, once you're here, you're here. So I understand definitely with Pat saying, and just to build that connection with him, I mean, it's going to be key here.
So, JD, what do you make of what Patrick Mahomes said? There's no easing into this thing. I mean, he knows the receivers have a hard time with this playbook because how big it is and vast it is. But Rashee Rice was well adapted to the playbook last year. But how important is it to have our first round receiver back, ready to go at the start of training camp after being out for so long?
Oh, it's significant. Because we didn't get to quite see him. Obviously, do the OTAs and the mini camps as much as we wanted to. So it's very important, vitally important, that you start getting some type of rapport, start getting some of the timing down. Like Patrick said, look, this is camp. We're rolling, and the thing is, this is not going to slow down for anybody. So, this train is rolling, and you better get on it. You better be ready. And so Xavier Worthy, I think, he was just saying, like, look, he's happy to be back out there, and he understands it. He understands what it means for being a first-round pick, him having the fastest 40 time, in the NFL running this year. So he has a lot of expectation. He understands that. But Patrick is like, look, man, this is a championship team. We need to understand. He needs to understand. We got to get rolling. And so I don't think Xavier Worthy is having any type of contention with that at all. I think he's fully on board, like I said before. So this is good. This is a great thing, for them to get some type of timing down right now, this early in camp.
The thing I loved about during his press conference, obviously there's that, not easing in, just kind of diving right into it. But the thing I loved is that he said that he spent the entire time when he was out getting adapted and accustomed to the playbook. And if you're not going to be doing the reps out there, you're doing mental reps, you're trying to get accustomed to the playbook and whatnot. And I think, sometimes when you kind of can step away from the actually act of doing stuff, you can actually kind of read your textbook kind of deal where you read your textbook, you're looking at the plays, you're kind of getting adapted to it. And then you're seeing guys in your position, whether it's you're playing the Z or X role, you're seeing what those guys are doing. You're thinking to yourself, I can do better than that. But I'm also just kind of getting the mental reps of what I'm supposed to do on each play. And that, I mean, obviously to be able to take a step back and to do that kind of thing. And it seems like, that's what he said he did pretty much the entire time he was out. You think that, I mean, that could definitely help him as far as when the ball gets rolling now when everyone starts to check into training camp?
Yeah, and that's all he can do. That's all he can, at that stage when you're not able to actually run the play, you got to take mental reps. And coaches are going to make sure that you're on it. They're going to make sure, like, okay, what are you supposed to do on this play? Okay, what is the adjustment? When you see the corner, let's say bail out, okay, if he's pressed bail him, now what do you do on this? And so just mentally going through it that's the main thing when we talk about what camp is about when playing football. It's the mentality. It's the mental part of the aspect, the fortitude that you had to have. If you don't have that, man, you're just not going to make it on the team or in the NFL for a long time. So I think Xavier Worthy's a very smart kid. He's a very sharp guy, and we keep hearing that, from every coach. And so, but it's vitally important. It's vitally important when you're sitting on the sidelines to take in everything. You can't get lost when you get hurt. You got to be in the huddle, making the plays. You got to repeat it to yourself also too, like where you lining up. And so when we talk about the complexity of this offense, that's what it is. Nagging those guys want to make sure like you're not getting lost. And so we were talking about this before. If you're not really, adding on to what they're trying to do, right? Win a championship, and you're the one that's causing the problems. You're not lining up right. You're not. That is a huge problem. That is a huge problem. I think the Chiefs got in it. They understand. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to have a three-peat. And so one guy is not going to stop the show. We can't wait for one guy to catch up. You got to be on it. When you come in, everybody's got to be following on all cylinders. So that's how I feel. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, we won without him, so I think we'll be all right with as he starts to get the mental reps and kind of get ready into it. And I was reading that he's not full throttle yet, like he's clear to play, but they're still trying to slowly bring him back along. Because I mean, you look at it today, he still had a wrap around his hamstring area, so it's still impacting him. He's obviously playing and back on the field and whatnot, but there's still a wrap there. So that's something that with hamstring injuries, as we talked a couple weeks ago with the former athletic trainer, your former athletic trainer with the Chiefs, you kind of have to be patient with that a little bit, where it's like, okay, you don't want to get him back full throttle right away if he's not ready yet. But the fact that he's out there is a step in the right direction. So he's back on the field, even with a wrap around his hamstring.
And it is really just kind of maintenance and managing it, right? And the thing is, you don't want to put him behind the 8 ball early. So yeah, you work him in, but like you said, the middle reps, he's got to be sharp. He's got to be on top of everything. And I guarantee meetings, when they go through meetings, Nagy's calling him up. Okay, Xavier, what do you do on this play, right? If you're sitting here, what is your adjustment? And all the guys got to know that, but especially the first round pick, right? We know Hollywood's going to have, we know Rashee Rice is going to have those answers. But a guy that is first round pick, man, that pressure is on him. And he understands that. He understands it.
Yeah, it was just nice to see him back out there catching with those, the routes on air type stuff, and then also catching, with the jugs machine, getting the punts and the kick returns. So it was nice to see him do all those things. Obviously we can only see what we can see with no hitting and no full throttle yet. But it was just nice to see some of that from our first round pick, which like you said, fastest guy in the NFL, right? Already faster than Tyreek Hill based on 40 time, and so I can't wait to see him when we get some thud going.
Yeah. So I see right here, Lego My Ego says, yep, me too. He says, the last part of it is, I just wonder how the new guys are going to deal with the noise at Arrowhead. I think those guys will be fine. Xavier Worthy played at Texas, man. He's going to be all right. All the young guys, man, they'll be fine. Jerry Wiley played at TCU. Kingsley played at BYU. These guys are going to be okay. I don't think the noise is going to affect these guys at all. So they'll be fine with that.
Yeah, especially Texas. Yeah, he's been around some. I'm not saying it's Arrowhead levels, but it's pretty darn close to it. Texas gets rowdy over there down in Austin. So yeah, I think he'll be accustomed to the noise for sure. Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.